everyone, welcome to my channel Pharmacypedia. This is Dr. Shikha Chauhan, and in this session, we are going to learn a very interesting topic that is about the deodorants and antiperspirants. This topic has been taken from the subject Cosmetic Science from BPharm 8th semester, which is a elective subject. So, if you have still not subscribed to my channel Pharmacypedia, please do like, share, and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and notifications. So, without wasting the time, let us try to understand what are deodorants, what are the antiperspirants, what is the difference between deodorants and the antiperspirants, what is the mechanism of action of deodorants and antiperspirants. So, what are deodorants and antiperspirants? Deodorants are basically the products which are applied to the body to prevent the body odor. So, the bad odor, also known as halitosis, from the mouth, and bad odor are accompanied and are caused by the bacterial breakdown of perspirations in armpits, feet, and other areas of the body, and do not reduce the wetness. So, deodorants are the product which overcome these odors and is able to give you good smell, whereas perspirants, antiperspirants are the products which are classified under deodorants only, which is a subgroup of deodorant only, and affects the odor as well as prevent the sweating by affecting the sweat glands. So the basic difference is that first of all, antiperspirants are the part of the deodorant. So deodorant is a big class and antiperspirants is a subgroup or subclass from the deodorant. Second, deodorants basically do not prevent the perspiration, whereas antiperspirants contain the constituents which prevents the perspiration and thereby reduces the production of the sweat. Talking about the properties of deodorants and antiperspirants, an ideal deodorants and antiperspirant should be non-irritant to the skin. They should not deteriorate the clothings. They should be completely safe and non-toxic. They should be easy to use and adhere well on the skin. They should be able to mask the body odor with the perfume, and they should absorb the perspiration or inhibit the activity of the gram-positive bacteria, which causes body malodor. So basically, deodorants overcome the smell of the bad smell of the sweat, whereas antiperspirants actually prevents the perspiration, so they actually prevents the sweat formation. So you can say antiperspirants are having therapeutic effect, whereas deodorants are the OTC products, so they work on the level of function of skins. So deodorants are classified as cosmetics and antiperspirants are classified as therapeutic substances. Next, discussing about the components of the sweat. So, sweat, sebaceous glands. On the surface of the skin, there are basically two types of the sweat glands. First is the acrine glands, which are spread all over the body, and second are the apocrine glands. So, they become active at the puberty. So, talking about the chemical constituents of the sweat, so they are basically the acidic substances with the degree of acidity is lying between 4 and 6. They basically consist of 99% water and some mineral salts, which are sodium chloride, potassium, and bicarbonates. They also contain inorganic compounds such as lactic acid, urea, and ammonia, which are secreted by the sweat glands. Then the bad odor. Numerous odor substances are responsible in the sweat glands. So they are basically odors. As such, sweat it does not contain any odor. But when bacteria act upon, then they decompose the proteins. They lower down the fatty acids, steroids, and lactones, and they have the combined action of the food, physical and psychological conditions. They are able to produce the bad odor or smell out of the sweat. Now, there are various methods to reduce or control the auxiliary odor. That is by reducing the apocrine sweating, by removing the secretions, by impeding the bacterial growth, or by absorbing the body odor. So they are the various ways. So deodorants basically absorbs they contain the absorbents which are able to absorb the body odor. They inhibit the activity of bacterial growth by having antibacterial agents. They are able to remove out the secretions well, and they antiperspirants acts by reducing the apocrine sweating. Talking about the mechanism of action of deodorants, according to Gomes, Drucker, and Lilly, infections caused by anaerobic bacteria often produces strong odor due to the production of short-chain fatty acids, sulfur compounds, ammonia, and polyamines. Chlorine, through its lethal activity on microorganisms and oxidative actions on the dead tissues and bacterial products, eliminates the fetid odor produced by the necrosis. So basically, sweat is odorless, but it is when it is acted upon by the gram-positive bacteria, they break down the fatty acids, they break down the components, and this actually produces the odor. So, by having the antibacterial agents incorporated into the composition of these antiperspirants and deodorants, we can have the masking of the bad odor. Now, one should know what is present in the deodorant. So, they basically deodorant contains the antibacterial agents like benzethonium chloride, chlorhexidine acetate, trichlorohydroxydiphenyl ether, triclosan, and they are lying in various formulation forms such as aerosols, sticks, creams, roll-ons, and soaps. Now, these deodorants are being evaluated for their effects on the skin by various sensitivity tests and by various hypersensitivity tests as well. So, both in vivo and in vitro methods are available, but in vitro techniques do not provide a reliable indicator of the clinical effectiveness. So, the two principal methods for the in vivo evaluation of deodorant efficacy are determination of the effect of treatment on the skin microflora and olfactory assessment of the effects on the skin odors. On the other hand, olfactory assessment of the effects of deodorants on body odors may be performed by direct armpit sniffing or by indirect sniffing of the pads. Now, formulation of antiperspirant sticks. Antiperspirant sticks basically comprises of the active drug ingredient that controls the perspiration. Mostly aluminum chlorhydrate compounds are being used along with the gelling agents that form the stick matrix and other constituents such as fragrances or colorants that make the product aesthetically pleasing. Talking about the mechanism of action of antiperspirant, active ingredient will diffuse into the sweat and the apocrine gland, and insoluble hydroxide gel will be produced in sweat pores, and thus physically blocking the release of secretory products by constricting the opening of the sweat glands. So the FDA has published OTC drug monograph which lists down the ingredients which are approved for use. So the ingredients on the list for the antiperspirants are natural antimicrobial agents such as aluminum chlorhydrate, aluminum dichlorhydrate, aluminum chloride, aluminum zirconium complexes. Of all of them, the most commonly used is the aluminum zirconium tetrahydroxyglycine. So most of these materials are supplied such as powders and they're typically used at levels of 8 to 25% on the weight basis. Now one should be aware whatever antiperspirants or deodorant you are using whether it contains aluminum or not, because the key fact is that aluminum is linked with breast cancer in women, prostate cancer, and other sorts of the cancer. So they are having a lot of health hazard. So one must not use as such antiperspirants. If you're provided with the choice, go ahead with the deodorants because deodorants basically do not inhibit the natural process of perspiration. They do not block the sweat, but whereas the antiperspirants actually block the sweat. So if the sweat is not being produced, the natural perspiration process is being inhibited, which further results in the deregulation of the body temperatures, because out of the perspiration only the body temperature is being maintained out. Talking about other substances, one of the substances widely used is the alcohol, which is present in some of the roll-ons and aerosols and gels. So the active ingredients of antiperspirants and deodorants are often dissolved in this alcohol as a medium, which quickly dries out on the skin and gives a cooling sensation. Apart from that alcohol, we use the gelling agents, which comprises of the waxy or the fatty substances that are gelled to form a solid stick. Other common examples include stearyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol, hydrogenated castor oils, glyceryl, stearate, etc. So these waxy materials are blended with lubricating oils and emollients such as cyclomethicone. In addition, talc, starches, or other powders may be added up to control the stick consistency and to give the product a dry feel. Apart from that, other substances used in these antiperspirants include fragrances and colorants, which are added up to the formula to provide it more aesthetic appearance. Some other additives, such as calcium pantothenate, may be added up. Calcium pantothenate in an antiperspirant is claimed to soothe the irritated skin and to promote the wound healing, which often occurs with the underarm shaving. Now, these evaluation of antiperspirants basically comprises and aims to bring down the perspiration, which is actually the temporary decrease in the sweat production in the axilla. The most widely used procedure for efficacy testing of antiperspirant is a gravimetric method, which further involves the collection and weighing down of the axillary sweat under controlled conditions. So, provided the choice between deodorants and antiperspirants, one should go ahead with the deodorants because they do not block the sweat. So, deodorants works by neutralizing the smell of the sweat and by antiseptic action against the bacteria. Deodorants are preferable because they don't interfere with the sweating in natural cooling process. Antiperspirants, because of their ability to reduce the perspiration and this diminish the medium that is factor in the development of axillary odor, can also claim to be a deodorant. However, because a deodorant product only reduces the body odor and does not reduce the perspiration, it can only be labeled as a deodorant. Talking to the health terms, aluminum has been associated with lot many toxicities. It has adverse effects on the blood brain barrier. It is capable of causing the DNA damage and has potential epigenetic effects. It is also linked up with the breast cancer. Studies led by the research Philippia Darbaris hypothesized that particular substances in deodorants such as preservatives called parabens or the bolts such as aluminum chlorides are used in antiperspirants, which further gets accumulated in the breast tissues. So one must be aware about the constituents which are being present in the antiperspirants, and provided the choice, one must go ahead with the deodorants. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please do like, share and subscribe to my channel Pharmacypedia for getting further updates and informations. Thank you so much.